Welcome back, everybody. Ghostberry TV back in action with another video for you guys here today. Um, so as some of you may or may not know, they're doing another playtest. We had a playtest a little while ago where they introduced this new idea of passive abilities, and now they've apparently tweaked some and they've reintroduced another play test to kind of see how their changes are going to affect everything, I guess, and get good feedback on. So we are going to look at some of them because not all of them appear to have changed, but a few have. And we're going to start talking about the SU-35 Super Flanker and its passive ability. So the SU-35, I mentioned it before in one of the other videos, had a passive ability of auto countermeasures. If you have flares left when a missile hit should kill you, your aircraft automatically uses a flare and reduces the missile damage by 75%. Now, the reason this is interesting is because that's different wording than the old passive ability. Now, the old passive ability, during the first playtest, flares are now automatically deployed at enemy incoming missiles, which made it seem like they would auto-deploy it every. I don't know if they actually did deploy it every, but it does make them seem like that based on the wording. And if you were to take fatal damage from a hit, the damage is reduced by 75%. Now it seems like the flare will only deploy and use one of your flare and reduce the missile damage if the missile hit would kill you. So if I'm reading this is either a rewording for more clarity, or it actually changes the way it works so it wastes less flares and it's only going to auto flare if the hit's going to be lethal. I think that's an interesting change. Even if it doesn't actually change, even if that's always how it worked, I do appreciate the rewording because now it is definitely much more clear. Alrighty, another one I want to look at here is the F-22 Raptor, perhaps my favorite plane in the game overall. Oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing there. Its passive ability, you'll notice it got a neat new icon showing a missile over a turbine. While you are not using afterburners, enemy heat-seeking IR missiles have a 35% reduced lock range penalty against you. Now, in the first playtest, this is a significant departure from that, because not only did the F-22's ability have a different icon, I do like this one more, I will say. The original icon was not as good as this new one is. But, here we go. While not using afterburners, enemy heat-seeking missiles have a 90% reduced lock-on range. So they nerfed this passive. So, before the F-22, when you weren't using your afterburners, was essentially going to be stealth to radars and heat seekers, and it was just going to be extremely hard to target. And now, I mean, you still get 35% reduced lock range penalty, but that is significantly different than 90%. So I guess they heard some feedback that might be too OP, and they've definitely changed that. And yeah, I like flying this thing, so when I'm flying it, I'm gonna, be a little sad, but at the same time, flying against these things, I do think that is for the better, and that will make them less OP. Let's go to the F-22's sister in this game. The closest jet to it is the Su-57 Felon. You don't need me to tell you, stats-wise, these two planes are almost identical in the game. Even if they're not really in real life, that's one of the things I like about this game, is it balances them quite well, makes them twins in a lot of ways. But the DIRCM was the Su-57's passive ability last time. But it also got a new icon and incoming heat-seeking IR missiles approaching from behind or to your sides are countered by directional infrared countermeasures. Reduced damage by 50%. That's very close to what it had, but not exactly. The old Felon passive ability gives your aircraft a directional infrared countermeasures system. Incoming heat-seeking missiles explode early when approached from behind or to the side. Heat-seeking damage received this way is reduced by 60%, so it received less of a nerf, I guess, than the Raptor's ability, but it also, I think, they heard that it was a little too much, it was a little too OP, and so they tweaked that one. Like I said, it's a slighter tweak than what the Raptor received, but it is still going to make a difference. And now here's a plane that I think deserves a look because it got a big change. Its new passive ability for the ADV here is evasion fuel. When you defeat a missile, ooh, little typo there. Gonna have to report that to Starform. But when you defeat a missile, fuel consumption rate is reduced by 50% for 5 seconds. You also gain 35% total fuel back. So that's actually a good special ability. But if you were expecting what it used to have, you're gonna be disappointed. Because it used to have a very different special ability. Initial Barrage was what it was called. The first 2.5 seconds of your cannon fire gets a 100% damage bonus. This ability goes on cooldown for 7.5 seconds after the bonus ends. So this doubled your aircraft's cannon damage the first 2.5 seconds. And so they went from basically a very good offensive special ability, maybe one of the best, one of the top 2 or 3 passive abilities we saw, to now something that definitely is going to be more defensive in its nature. And I guess they got a lot of feedback that was way too much, especially on the ADV, a plane that has a lot going for it already. It's a great jack of all trades planes, and it's got a fantastic special ability on it. So I guess they thought that would be too much to handle all in one plane, and they completely swapped its passive ability. All right, here we go. Testing the Tornado ADV's passive ability. Let's see what the air defense variant can do with this new defensive ability. Oh. And there we go. We hear it activating. I got that fuel back. That was nice. I was paying attention more to my ability. So I missed the reload, but I don't really need it. Somebody's going to take me down. That's what happens when you let yourself get distracted. But that's... It's interesting. It's definitely, like I said, it's not an offensive ability. It's definitely more of a defensive one. So it's going to help you more running away from somebody. Wow. It appears my toad decoy was not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I mean, usually I would have been safe right there, but maybe I mistimed it. Maybe. Usually I'm pretty good at using it, though. It's very interesting. There, we hear it again. Very nice. And we got it again. Okay, getting the hang of it here. This way. Gonna hit this reload. Bend those wings back and protect this point. I'm gonna try and sneak down and get this health. And I am able to get it. Oh, I do not have my disruptors on. I'm so used to running disruptives that I forgot I took them off for air superiority. Force of habit. Alright, we get it once again there. It's going to carry us through Bravo. Destroy anti-brick there and take Charlie back. And get rid of the interceptor. Now taking the lead. I mean, people are going to be disappointed because they started out with that really strong special or passive ability. And they're going to be disappointed because this is not that. But I quite like it. I got to be honest. I enjoy it. I think it helps the plan a lot, especially when you need to escape danger. But, of course, I'm open to other opinions. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of these abilities and of the changes that we've seen specifically. Here we go with the test of the Su-57's tweaked passive ability. Like I said, it's not as drastic as what the Raptor received to its changes. Right, I'll let myself get hit because I was hoping the passive would happen, but I don't think they hit me with a heat seeker. Or if they did, it was probably too straight on. I think I might have pulled a bot lobby. Alright, let's try to make it over to the health. Again, just trying to bait them into shooting me. Come on. And there we go. Look at that. The damage was reduced. And if that damage hadn't been reduced, I would have died right there. Instead, I survived and was able to make it to the health and live to keep fighting. Sorry that took so long to get to, but like I said, I somehow pulled a lobby of bots, so they aren't quite as aggressive as normal human players are. But yeah, that's gonna come in handy in the middle of fights. Especially like you saw, I was trying to make it to that health spot, and I was able to because I survived a blast that probably should have killed me. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative to what the new passives coming your way look like. As always, I invite, comments and criticism down in the comments below. Yeah. And thank you guys for watching. Fly fast, fly hard. I'll see you guys in the skies next time.